Good morning. Welcome to day 6 of my Chico Labyrinth series. And it's morning. It's before 9 a.m. and the sun is coming into the labyrinth from a different angle. And it's just a very different experience here this morning as it's early. The city's still relatively quiet. And yeah, today's my last complete day in Chico. I leave tomorrow, and it just feels really good to be here and to be honoring my commitment to experience and practice the labyrinth using Kathleen McGowan's book, The Source of Miracles. So today is Petal 6, Overcoming Obstacles. And do not bring us into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The final stanza of the Lord's Prayer. And I'm just going to read a little bit here from Kathleen McGowan, because I think what she says is just so direct and spot on. She goes, to reap the power of these final words of the Lord's Prayer, we must agree on the definition of 3 terms: temptation, sin, and evil. She says we have to start with evil, because the power of evil can feel overwhelming, and you must understand that it is not. And second, because defining evil clears the way to understanding temptation and sin. So let's start walking, shall we? So Kathleen gives us a very simple but powerful definition of evil. That which keeps you from accomplishing your mission and fulfilling your divine promise is defined as evil. It's not an exterior force or a horned devil that will tempt you off your path. It is something within you that, as she says here, within the larger framework of evil lies temptation. Temptation is the human weakness that can lead us into sin. Then her definition of sin is a self-imposed limitation that causes us to stray from our path of service and from our remembering that we are one with God through love and forgiveness. Therefore, temptation to sin causes us to forget our spiritual lessons and leads to evil, which keeps us from fulfilling our destiny and keeping our sacred promises, not only to ourselves, but to God, to Source, to the God spark within. And so I'm not going to go into a description of what these 7 deadly sins are that Mary Magdalene talks about in her gospel and is talked in throughout the Bible and talked in many different traditions, in many different ways, using different words or that. But I'm going to just offer here ego, anger, envy, complacency, greed, indulgence, lust. So I'm going to put the book down here. Right. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's see where I am. I'm about to turn to the outer rung. So that which leads us away from us keeping our promise, our commitments. And I was feeling into it this morning that when we surrender ourselves, our desires, our purpose to God, as we're asked to do in the second petal. It's not a collapse. That's not what true surrender is. It's almost so interesting that it's not that, it's the opposite. It's that when we surrender, we are both giving over, like trusting God so much, but in that act of surrender, we are actually committing with our bodies, hearts, and souls to a project, to a path, to a purpose. We're committing wholeheartedly, whole beingly. And yet it is these temptations, if you will, that some people call the sins, the 7 deadly sins, that can pull us off the path. When we fall into doubt and fear and go, oh, I can't do that, I'm not worthy of that. Who do I think I am to create this dream? We get pulled off the path. And yet here on this path, as I'm being led into the very center of the circle, remembering that this petal is overcoming obstacles. So I've stepped back into the center, and I'm going to walk out of this labyrinth, and I will see you at the entrance or the exit. So just be asking yourself in these next few minutes, where am I pulled out of center? Where do I give in and be overwhelmed, if you will, by my fears? And where do I believe them rather than the truth that we are never alone, that we are connected with something so much greater than ourselves in our human bodies, in our humanness, that actually is here to support us, to love us, and to assist us in this human life so that we can be the hands of God, so that we can be the ones who create heaven on earth. I'm right now walking the outside run of this labyrinth. And as you actually allow for clarity around where you get pulled off, this is also the same place where we can ask for support, where we can choose something different for ourselves and the worlds, the realities we are creating. I think this is in part what this labyrinth walk provides for us. Whether you recite the Lord's Prayer or not, whether you just step into the labyrinth and allow the path to carry you into the center, it's that a labyrinth can be a beautiful reminder that there is a harmony and an order to the universe, that there are pathways and templates and circuitries that can hold our being, guide us, inform us, where we can receive higher wisdom in our bodies, in our knowing, and we can choose to act from this place of connection, communion. So as I complete this labyrinth, it's such a beautiful opportunity on this Sunday morning. It's a little quieter out on the roads, even though of course there's still traffic. to come within, and ask yourself, where do I have faith? Where am I faith? Where am I surrender? Where am I service? Where am I abundance? Where am I forgiveness? And where am I overcoming obstacles? And where am I not? And where can I ask for, request and receive assistance, support, love? Where can I hold myself in more love as I allow myself to be so vulnerable as to ask for more love and support? The Labyrinth gives us the map, if you will, for sourcing ourselves in the center of our being, allowing each of these petals to hold us in love, so that as we walk back out into the world from the center, we have our center, we have ourselves. That while we are certainly in the journey of returning to the world, it's not to leave ourselves back there so that we can re-engage, but having more and more of ourselves as we do return. We return differently. Coming up to the final bend in the road where I left the source of miracles. So thank you to this beautiful labyrinth for inviting me here and holding this journey over the past 6 days. And as I turn to return to the world, our Father who dwells in heaven, our Mother who dwells in earth, may your names be hallowed. May your kingdoms come. May your will be done on heaven and here as it is on earth. Give us today our sufficient bread, and forgive us our debts as we have forgiven those who have debted against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. So that we can be the source of miracles. We can bring forth that beauty into the world and fulfill our sacred destinies, fulfill our sacred purpose while we are walking our sacred path.